Hey there, welcome to JT Picks, and today I'm going to be reviewing Church Clothes 4 by Lecrae. So I'm going to start this review differently than I do most, and I'm going to do that by just giving you the score for it straight up. After tons of internal debate, I decided to give CC4 a 7.5 out of 10. Some of you may be like, I'm not really shocked. He's given quite a few 7.5s this year, most notably to New Hollywood, and I still stand by that score. CC4 was pretty hard to determine because it almost received 8, literally by a hair. I finally decided one day while listening to the whole CC4 album on shuffle, because I had been going back and forth about it. I went, that's it. It's a 7.5. It's not an 8. The first thing that I want to mention is kind of a nitpick, but the way that it's like a sequel, but not to Church Clothes. I know that it does have CC4, which is a sequel to Church Clothes, which was on the original mixtape, but we also have Misconceptions 4, which follows 1, 2, and 3. And that's nice, but if you're gonna have 2 tracks acting as specific follow-ups for the CHH franchise, then keep it that way. On top of those, we have sequels to Anomaly tracks, such as Fear with its follow-up Fear Not, and Still in America, which is the follow-up to Welcome to America. And these things were confirmed by Lecrae live on Instagram, except for one, which is that this album also technically serves as a sequel to No Church in a While, because the I-45 freestyle beat is really one call, just slowed down. So it has a lot of sonic and lyrical reminders of other projects, which is kind of strange for a Church Clothes sequel. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm watching a Steven Spielberg film, I don't want to have references from all of his other films in the movie. If it's part of a franchise, I'll want a reference from the films that came before it in that franchise, but not every single film that he has done. Not saying that I don't enjoy it, though, because, like, Fear Not is definitely a bop, and I do love how it has Psalms 23 in other languages, which is a lot like how in Fear, they weren't saying Psalms 23, but there was a whole section specifically in French, and I did like that. I also thought that the beats on this album are pretty decent. They range from good to great. I love the use of sampling on this album, which is something unlike anything we've heard in CHH. The use of the James Brown sample in Good Lord is spectacular, and the sample of The Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony is perfection, leading Take Me Up to be one of my favorite tracks of the album. Unfortunately, I don't really like the track Dirt. It reminds me of a less appealing version of Dirty Water, which I did not like Dirty Water at first. I like it now. I still don't love it, though. And so Dirt is just kind of repetitive and noisy, and I don't like it. I do, however, like the bar at the end of the hook, Only God Can Judge Me, which is a reference to the song in Let the Trap Say Amen. But only God can judge me, only when he does it, it might be worse. That line hit, that was a great bar. I also think while this album had plenty of great bars, also in certain songs, it was just lacking. We Did It, for example, it just felt kind of bland or generic at times. On some tracks, yeah, you were left thinking and there were really good bars, but then on some tracks it was like generic. Deconstruction is a great track that left you thinking. Very good storytelling on that, and Journey. I love how at the end of Deconstruction there was a sample, I will never be the same, I'm coming back to you now. That is a sample of a song. Well, I don't know if this song is sampling something else. If you do know where that sample comes from, let me know down in the comments. All I know is the song called Coming Back by Boue, B-O-U-E. It's a really good song. It's an EDM dance song, so I was really happy to hear that that was sampled. Overall, I just think that this album is good and very close to being great, but the tracks that I really don't like are Dirt, and the shocking track that I don't like is We Did It. It's honestly a song that should work, but every time I hear it, it sounds so generic. It sounds like a generic happy song, you know? I get annoyed every time I hear it and want to skip it. Once in a while I'll listen to it, but I don't know, I just don't like it. Other than that, I think that this album does have great moments. Protect My Peace was a pretty good song. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the production on Protect My Peace was very reminiscent of a Gavi song, especially the... That, I was like, that's Gavi, 100%. Like, that sounds like something Gavi would do. So I was wondering if they were making that beat with him in mind. My favorite moment in Still in America is, for example, the part where Lecrae goes, if you mess with our Second Amendment, we probably go riot, but take out the probably. That part, especially the transition from like a radio talking to Lecrae, like hypes me up every time. Also, where he talks about churches being like Broadway shows, because that's just facts. I mean, I play that song in the gym, and when that particular part comes up, I'm like pushing through another rep that I should not have been able to do. Spread the Opps, which is an amazing song, great single. I think both singles for this album were amazing, and yeah, I just think that this album's good. But like New Hollywood, it ranges, right? Not as bad, not as deep as New Hollywood ranged, where the worst was 4.5 and the best was 10. But this album ranges from like a 6 to 9.5. And most tracks tended to stay in the general area of having a score of 7 or 8, with only like 3 9s total. So at the end, it was very close to 8, but it didn't reach there. It didn't go across that bound. It didn't give me another reason to say this is 100% 8. And if there's a reasonable doubt in my mind, it normally means that I have a good reason not to give this the score that I'm thinking it should get. And yeah, I once again, album ranges from okay, like CC4 intro song, fine, but lyrically it was great. Beat wise, it was great, but it was too short. And I don't know, I've been hearing people say constantly that this is Lecrae's best album since Rebel. This is his lyrically strongest album, and whatever some people are on, I want it. You know, I don't see it. It's not that good. It's good. It's solid. I enjoy it very much. But would I say that it's better than Anomaly, All Things Work Together, or Restoration? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say it's his best album. I saw people saying that this is the best CHH album ever. Not that good, okay?
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Henrik's album, I would say, holds a little bit over Lecrae's. Yeah, I said it. It does. Hi, editor's note here. I'm watching the video right now, and I have this feeling that some people are going to misunderstand what I'm saying about Lecrae's lyrics in this project. So I just want to make it just the clearest it can be, okay? So I do not think they are anywhere near bad. I just think that when you have people online saying this is the best Lecrae album, the strongest album lyrically, I don't know. Restoration was pretty good lyrically. All Things Work Together was amazing lyrically and probably Lecrae's best. CC4 was good all around and good lyrically, but not that good, okay? So I make it sound like, oh, it's terrible lyrically. It's not. I'm saying they're bland in comparison, but they're not bland. They're just not as good as y'all are making it sound. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. Remember, there's 2 things I know. I know that Jesus is king and that JT, me, knows best. See you guys next time.